All right, Death Valley Holy Salt. This is Mother's prayer from the Death Valley in California. Your children are ready to expand heavenly providence. So the whole point here is Mother came across this incredible abundance of white salt because it had been raining last year. And mother's saying that, everything geared toward the entrance ceremony of the Chonmongung, everything must be purified. Everything must be distilled and purified. So what's happening in the Death Valley when it rains is everything gets mixed up, but then when it evaporates, the salt separates from the sediment and the dust, and it lifts to the top like a layer of snow. And so what she means is like this salt, the salt of the earth, is pure in its form. And in the most, low and dreadful place, a hellish on earth kind of place, yet we can find this kind of salt. So she's likening it to the prepared people that have been prepared to help us really enter into the Chonchimwan and have a feast of praise with Heavenly Parent entering the Chonchimwan. Heavenly Parent, today in this Death Valley, we, your children, the salt of the earth, desire to expand your realm through the efforts of those who respect heaven. May such righteous salt-like people arise abundantly. How much? A little bit? How much, Melissa?
Abundant.
Abundantly in this country, America, this continent and all over the world. Bless our efforts, Heavenly Parent. So this holy salt is unique, it's different, and we're sharing it with the members, and that's to help us do this. Find these salt-like people who have been prepared to really establish Chonogo. Here's a few points about it. A, it's to find the righteous people. Mother is searching for the salt that can save humanity to find those righteous people. And as I mentioned, Mother visited January 13, and it was so spectacular. I don't know if she heard about it and that's why she went, but I'm sure that, being inspired by that environment and seeing this salt led to this special. Mother gifted us this incredible holy salt, which has been bequeathed to the regional presidents and also the Shin Top Gun missionaries. And they take it with them in their pocket when they witness. And so I'll be bringing this to each community. We'll share this with all the members. This was just a few weeks ago, receiving it from True Mother. Now, America, where does America fit in with all of this? How do we in America choose to respond to True Mother? So our mission statement is God's dream, one family. God's dream, one family. Okay, God's dream, one family. And this is like the public mission statement, building a nation of peace, love, and compassion. It's very nice. But fundamentally, America's mission, you could say, is bringing Christianity to the only begotten daughter, to bring Christianity to the only begotten daughter. This is the fundamental, internal anchor point of the American providence. Of course, the purpose of America is to safeguard, to protect, and to help proclaim and expand the realm of true parents. Okay, but especially what was missing from the beginning was the proper proclamation of only begotten daughter, becoming one with the only begotten daughter. This was actually God's secret key. And this was also the secret key of the Lord of the Second Advent. This was the secret key of the Lord of the Second Advent. And so this was the key that was going to unlock the door that now we can finally insert and unlock, hopefully, with a greater degree. All right, so then you've got God's dream, one family, spirit and truth with the youth and young families. So we all count, we all matter. I'm not a young family anymore. I'm first generation. Whether we're 90 years old or 10 years old, we all are a part of this final phase of, supporting Mother. But frankly, we're only 300 or 400 songwas away from kind of shutting down in terms of even just the people that donate to the church so we can keep the lights on, right? So we really, Melissa, really are inspired by the young people stepping up, feeling the Spirit, and helping us lead into the next phase. So we're united with you and we want to support you. And definitely there's emphasis on the youth and young families. So thank you. Mother trusts us, guys. She trusts us and she needs us. Currently, the weight of responsibility you all bear alongside me for the United States is truly heavy. This is from a meeting that the American leadership team was just 2.5 weeks ago sitting in Mother's living room in Korea. And she sat in her chair. She served us first some strawberry cake that she'd specially prepared for us. And then she really shared openly and vulnerably with us, very vulnerably. Currently, the weight of the responsibility you all bear alongside me for the United States is truly heavy, truly heavy, truly heavy. And thinking about the future prospects of the United States, which seem truly challenging, it reminds me of the circumstances of the 1970s. Mother was really lamenting. She's really worried about America today because it's reminding her of the 1970s. However, what's interesting also about the parallel to the 1970s, it's when our movement was really growing, right? It's when our movement was really growing. It's also probably the last time that our movement had American leadership, leading it, frankly, I believe, right? Elio, tell me if I'm wrong. But I believe that there was a phase where, the American movement, we had all manner of diverse leadership, but there were American leaders working directly with true parents. And then there was other phases of development of the providence, and we had to adjust and adapt, and certain things were hard to do. I think there's many reasons why, and everybody's got their own opinion. But Mother's drawing this parallel to the challenges that America's facing. It's like the problems we're dealing with, Melissa, in America right now is just so ridiculous, right? Like the things that the way the culture, it's like, it's obvious. It's so stupid. It's kind of obvious that it's stupid, right? It's getting to that point. And so I think there's a lot of people that really want to find true spirituality, true truth, and true God. So interesting parallel. Mother saying, I need your help. Become one with me in this golden age of the providence and become a prestigious family. This is the first and last time in human history. Last time in human history. So Mother's warning to America. I'm not going to share the internal words that she shared with us, but I kind of paraphrased key bullet points out of it that I can share with you. First, America cannot fulfill its responsibility if presidential candidates are ignorant of heaven's will. Okay? Mother is willing to work with any president that actually can humble themselves to Heavenly Parent, whether it's a man or a woman, whether it's right or the left. And we do have to be aware of what policies the presidents are speaking, and even more aware of what policies they are enacting, because it affects this country, it affects our life. But we should not be seduced into thinking that the truth is to be found in sort of left shoulder, right shoulder political debate. We can certainly debate in terms of being aware, but that's not where God is. God is not there among the left or right wing alone, but as you know, head wing, as Father said, head wing. But regardless of what political party, the leader needs to humble themselves to heaven. Otherwise, no matter the policies we create, we're just playing the fiddle on a sinking ship, right? So we're not going to get anywhere unless the president attends heaven. Simple. America cannot and must not just act for its own interests. We know this. From the outside, America might be considered a nation that lives for war. Mother pointed this out. America needs to know the essence of Jesus. America's responsibility was to create an environment for the Lord of the Second Advent, but false ideas and family breakdown have been severely threatening America. The situation reminds me of the 1970s. America did not fulfill its responsibility to keep Korea intact as one nation. That's a complicated story. True Father needed to embrace Christianity and create a realm of preparation for the only begotten daughter. I had to take responsibility for anything that was lacking. So you see, Mother's very clear about what the early mission was. And it was really hard because no man had done it in human history. Even Jesus couldn't do it. But what Mother's being very clear about is what was the responsibility of the providential leadership up until the Holy Wedding. Is to really prepare for the OBD. First time that we have on record of father talking about the only begotten daughter was 1959, 6 months before the Holy Wedding. And his words were something to the effect of, the 2,000-year history of Christianity has been in search of the only begotten daughter. So even it was being revealed to father at that time, and I believe it had been said at least 19 times between then and the Holy Wedding. And so the 36 couples were, those members were the first to be hearing about it. But the emphasis was obviously not sufficient for them to remember it when mother brought it up, because they were the first to struggle with it. So emphasis was not there. Will heaven's will materialize if I'm gone? She's asking us. Your attitude and determination must become one with me. This is a warning. This is a warning. I'm not going to waste 1 minute sort of second guessing mother at all. I'm not going to waste a minute. That's my testimony. It's not even my direction. It's my testimony. Should we give up? She says, we can't give up, right? We need to educate American citizens ASAP. Okay. So that was just February 16 of this year. And moving on, at the end of my trip in Korea this time, I really, there was a day that was particularly difficult for me, just things going on, and it allowed me to really empty my mind of all my ideas. Okay, and I try to do this every time I have a new mission. I go up the mountain and pray, and I really feel God speaking to me. This time, on the last day of prayer in the Chonchim-1, I really prayed in that way when you pray to God and you've got no ideas, you've got none of your own ideas, and you're just like asking God, like, what shall I do? Right? You feel so burdened by not knowing really what to do that you're just like you humble yourself to that realization and ask God to fill you with a vision or a word of what should we do? What should we do? So God, what can I do, and what should America do? And I was brought to tears. It was interesting because I was having a bad moment, and the whole 3-hour Chonchim-1 that day, it was like, my heart was there in the right place, but I wasn't feeling it. Like, that feeling, like I wasn't just pretending or acting. I was there and I understood what was going on. But it was almost as if I was outside of my body watching it going on and not really resonating. I couldn't get the vibration, and I couldn't enjoy it. And that was just related to what was going on. But all of this was bringing me to the last 3 minutes of the 3-hour prayer. And it happened to me. It didn't happen because of me. It didn't happen because of some magic sauce. It happened to me. And I put my head in my hands and I asked God, what do you want me to do? Like, I'd already given my Chonoguk leaders report. All of the PowerPoints had been done. All the reports had been given. We'd heard Mother say what she wants to say. But I was just like, God, what do you want? And I was brought to tears immediately. And this was like a 1-minute experience in that last 3 minutes, the final phase. And this is what God said to me. He said, tell my children I love them. Tell my children I love them. America is my nation who I prepared to meet the only begotten daughter. Christianity has been waiting for this time. Come, tell my children I love them, and it is time to come home and fulfill that for which I blessed you. It started off as words and then it ended as pictures, but from beginning to end, this was the message. And from beginning to end, the feeling that the Spirit was bringing me into, I felt like I was just touching the outer realm of what God's heart must be for America. And I just wanted to give this message to you because it's like what I felt God telling me was, even though Mother's worried, it's like God doesn't worry. Mother's worried because she's worried for God, right? But God told me, it's like, Damien, like, don't worry, we've got this, okay? We've got this because this is the purpose of this nation. In other words, God was showing me my relationship with America is not a land of freedom, a land of, democracy, some providential nation. Like, that's not his relationship with America. God was telling me, America is my child. America is my child. I made this country. This country will fulfill its responsibility. Of course, thanks to True Parents and all of us that have made whatever small conditions we've made to help True Parents save this country. But even though there's challenges that we face and Mother's aware of those challenges, she sent us to the Chonchimon to ask God directly. And God told me, tell my children I love them. God wants to say, I love you. And the simple, most fundamental essence of what our mission is just to introduce America to Mother. It's a Christian nation, and this is what it's been praying for. This is what the 2,000-year history has been for. This is what this nation was prepared for. All of the pilgrims, all of the sacrifices, all of the mistakes that we have made upon one another against the Native Americans, against the indigenous people of Africa, ripping them out of Africa, many through Senegal to this point. And finally, here we are. Here we are. Thanks to the grace of God and True Parents, able to participate in this final chapter. And I just felt God giving me a whole lot of courage to not worry. We know what to do. We just got to do it. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I'll go quickly through this. And if you want to go through all the detail, you'll come to the tour. But just very quickly, Mother really loves us. And this is an incredible quote from Mother. She said, America is the shortcut to the shortcut for God's providence. Write that in the chat box. America is the shortcut for God's providence, right? And so, she really loves us. This was a gift that we gave her. I'll share more about this on the tour. But it's really about restoring Christianity and bringing our youth. And, she's encouraging both the Christian ministers and the youth to remember that we are her children, both youth and old, young and old. We are True Parents' children. We're not church members. We're not church leaders. We're not Christian leaders. We're not John the Baptists. Sons and daughters of True Parents. And, we did a lot in the last year and this year, blah, blah, blah. I'll share more about that. But I really want you to understand, Chonchimon and Family Fed is working as one. We're revealing the truth of the providence. That's the purpose of this tour. And it's not just going to be about me and the churches delivering it, but that's phase 2. Phase 3 will be distributing like something on disc for everyone to share and give to their members. Everybody. Substantial witnessing with special focus on youth and Christianity. We've chosen 10 strategic nations where we're sending the missionaries to, and we're dividing our time up into sprints. And it's really important. The more that our leaders put in the data of what's going on in their churches, we can actually see at a glance where we need to offer more support. And then there's youth, culture, and education. These are emphasis and policies and so on. But that's really it. We're looking for massive church growth. Mother said at least 300 to 1,000% church growth. All right. 300 to 1,000% church growth. So these are some of our goals. You've all seen goals before, but I think it all starts with the power of the Chonchimon. So I'll end it there to save your time. But this is just like working together with the leaders to figure out how we can, organize ourselves.